this? And it was that fact that scared me most of all. It was, I managed. It was my fault. I wasn't looking where I was going. It wasn't technically true. It had been like a slow-motion movie crash. Once I had caught sight of him, once I had realized what he was, I'd been unable to avert disaster. I could see him there, but my mind refused to believe it. So I just kept walking. I'm more worried about the depth of your coffee addiction. Can a human even drink that much caffeine and live? I wrinkled my brow, silent for a moment before I realized he was teasing me. The murderous creatures could joke? Years of resentment and pain bubbled under the surface, so close it made my skin itch. Yet, he seemed so normal. If it wasn't for those ears of his and that weird aura of confidence that so few could pull off, I wouldn't have even known he was a fairy in the first place. They weren't for me. I work at the studio, I managed, nodding my head in the direction of the headquarters, where right now my high-strung bosses were, no doubt, wondering what was taking me so long to deliver their next caffeine hit. They were not the kind of people that liked to wait, and as I was the lowest monkey on the Hollywood ladder, I was extremely expendable, a fact that I was reminded of on a daily basis. Cool. What do you do? He asked, shoving his hands in his pockets, seeming to have forgotten the aromatic liquid still dripping down him. I'm a gopher. He cocked his head. You're not like any gopher I've ever seen. I'd be very impressed to see a human turn into a small woodland creature. Not even most fairies could pull that off. I ran my fingers through my blonde ponytail, a nervous gesture from childhood. Is that another joke? The fairy chuckled. If you have to ask, it means it wasn't a very good one. Not gopher, go-fur, like go get stuff. I do random odd jobs. Coffee, errands, whatever punishment my boss can dream up for me. It's just for now. Everyone in the industry knew what a gopher was. The fact that he had to ask marked him as even more of an outsider. I want to do stunts, I blurted out. As soon as the words left my mouth, I wanted to swallow them. Why was I even telling him that? It wasn't as though I was embarrassed by my job. Plenty of stars started their Hollywood careers in much the same way. You're going to be a stunt woman? His green eyes widened and crinkled up at the edges. He seemed genuinely impressed. I guess there wasn't much call for stunt people in Fairwild. What kind of stunts do you do? I weighed the question, wondering if he was genuinely interested or if his question disguised some sinister intent. It was so hard to tell. I decided that it didn't really matter if I told him. It was hardly a state secret. Whatever they want. I can drive, I can ride horses, I can fight. I'll do it all, I managed, though I still couldn't believe his curiosity was genuine. To a fairy, I was as important as a woodland creature. As an insect. That's how fairies saw us mere mortals. Something to play with, and to squash when they got bored. Sounds like you're attracted to danger. A mischievous smile played across his handsome face, and warning bells rang in my mind. That's what I expected. That's what I needed to watch out for. That's what got Cass. I should go, I said. I need to place another order and get back to work. I'm really sorry about your clothes. I wasn't that sorry. His clothes looked expensive, perfectly tailored to fit his lean, muscled form. He probably had a leprechaun slave or something who could make him another set. Don't worry about it, he said. In fact, I can fix it right up. His hands were out of his pockets before I could protest, moving in an unnatural motion. My heart seized in my chest as his lips moved, mouthing strange nonsense syllables. He was doing magic. Every fiber within me told me to run, to flee from him and not look back. But I was rooted to the spot, fascinated and horrified in turn. I hadn't been around magic for 2 years. Not since Cassandra and her coven were playing around in the attic with candles and runes. Since she started sneaking out to meet some guy, a guy who happened to have glowing golden eyes and pointed ears. Since she disappeared into the field behind our ranch with him and never came back. At the thought of my older sister, my heart